Title: Web of Chad's vicious vendetta against Jennifer Horton. In a town like Salem, where every secret has ears and every memory can become a weapon, public humiliation isn't just an emotional wound, it's a declaration of war. Kat Green, a striking woman with icy beauty and unbreakable resolve, once believed she could withstand anything. But not like this. Not in front of the entire town. Not when Jennifer Horton, the woman who hides behind a mask of morality, publicly tore Kat's dignity to shreds. Humiliated, cast out of the Horton house like some unwanted intruder, Kat didn't just feel hurt. She felt rage. And she vowed she wouldn't let it end there. For Kat, this was no longer about love or pride. It was about revenge. But to exact that revenge, she needed an ally. And the only person who could give her access to the very heart of Jennifer's world was Chad DiMera. Abigail's widower, once a cherished member of the Horton family, and the man Kat had just walked away from. She knew Chad still carried feelings for her. And no matter how proud she was, Kat wasn't above using that to her advantage. Chad didn't see Jennifer as an enemy, but he couldn't forget the look in Kat's eyes the day she was disgraced. He knew that if he wanted to win back her heart, he would have to do the unthinkable, take her side against the very family he once called his own. And so the game began. A carefully staged performance, where feigned heartbreak and forced distance masked a darker truth. Jennifer would never see the blow coming, until it was already too late. A bittersweet return. It all began with a homecoming. Jack Devereaux and Jennifer Horton, weary but hopeful, returned to Salem, hoping for peace, hoping for reconnection, but perhaps not quite ready for the storm that would greet them. The return was overshadowed by grief for their late daughter, Abigail, whose tragic death still hangs over the town like a shroud. Jack, with his characteristic solemnity, visited Abigail's grave, speaking softly to the wind, as if hoping her spirit would guide him through the emotional wreckage that remained. But Salem had not been idle in their absence. In their time away, Chad DiMera, Abigail's widower, had begun to tentatively open his heart again, finding a spark of unexpected comfort in the enigmatic Kat Green. With her striking beauty and sharp intellect, Kat was unlike anyone Chad had met before. She was fearless, quick-witted, and saw through his brooding charm without flinching. To Chad, she was a breath of life after months of grieving. To Kat, Chad was an enigma worth unraveling. On the very day of Jack and Jennifer's return, Chad and Kat dared to step into public together, walking hand in hand into Doug's place. But their appearance wasn't met with silent stares or whispered gossip. It was met with fury. Chaos at Doug's place. Like a whirlwind, Jack and Jennifer stormed into the restaurant, their emotions barely contained. Seeing Chad, still technically a grieving widower, on a date so soon after their daughter's death was more than Jennifer could stomach. And Kat? To Jennifer, Kat was nothing more than a provocateur, a manipulator who dared to exploit Chad's vulnerable state. Words turned to shouts, and within moments, Jennifer had lashed out, publicly humiliating Kat and demanding Chad leave. Jack, ever the reluctant peacekeeper, tried to calm things down, but the damage was done. In the eyes of Salem society, Chad had betrayed the memory of his wife. And Kat? She was branded the town's newest pariah. A fractured pair. Humiliated and furious, Kat pulled away. She told Chad it was better if they stayed apart. That their connection, no matter how real, was too dangerous. Chad, hurt and ashamed, agreed. For a brief moment, they vanished from each other's orbit. But Salem is a small town, and fate has a cruel sense of humor. Their paths crossed again, and again. Each encounter reignited a flicker of anger, of passion, and of something darker still. Something that twisted their shared pain into a single, razor-sharp focus. Jennifer. To both Chad and Kat, Jennifer Horton became a symbol of everything they'd lost. For Chad, she was the ghost of Abigail's memory, one that he was never allowed to move past. For Kat, she was the woman who'd humiliated her, slapped a scarlet letter on her back, and ensured she'd never be accepted. Quietly, in whispered conversations and cryptic texts, Kat and Chad reconnected. Not as lovers, but as co-conspirators. The birth of a plan they knew Salem's expectations. They knew everyone would believe their romance was dead. So they leaned into that belief, playing the roles of bitter ex-lovers, seemed deliberately ignoring one another at social events, or quickly leaving a room when the other entered. But behind closed doors, in rented hotel rooms and the dim corners of abandoned DiMera properties, they plotted. The plan wasn't just revenge, it was a performance. Jennifer had embarrassed Kat in public. Kat would return the favor, only tenfold. Chad, feeling smothered under the crushing legacy of Abigail, wanted freedom from the perpetual mourning. And Jennifer, always clinging to memories and morality, would be the perfect target. The duo started small. A series of anonymous rumors surfaced, whispers that Jennifer was losing her grip, that grief was making her erratic. A key piece of evidence at the hospital where she volunteered was mysteriously misplaced, leading to an internal investigation. At first, no one suspected Chad or Kat. After all, they were no longer involved. They had no reason to act together, right? But soon, their schemes escalated. Kat, using her charm and tech savvy, intercepted Jennifer's private emails and edited them before they were sent. Chad leaked just enough tension into Jack and Jennifer's marriage to cause sleepless nights and whispered arguments. The townspeople began to notice. Jennifer, once the golden heart of Salem, seemed scattered, unsure. Her confident smile became brittle. Her eyes, always kind, began scanning crowds as though searching for shadows that weren't there. And that's exactly what Chad and Kat wanted. The final act, Chad and Kat's ultimate plan, involved more than sabotage. It was about reclaiming power. They weren't satisfied with merely tarnishing Jennifer's reputation. They wanted to unmake her, to force her into a public collapse that would forever shatter her carefully preserved image. The final act was timed to the town's annual Abigail DiMera Memorial Gala, an event organized, fittingly, by Jennifer Horton herself. Kat, elegant in black velvet, arrived alone. Chad, dressed in his late father's tuxedo, made a delayed entrance. No one batted an eye. They hadn't spoken publicly in months. But behind the scenes, they had planted a forged letter, supposedly written by Jennifer, that expressed doubts about Chad's devotion to Abigail and questioned the paternity of their youngest child. The letter was found by a well-known gossip blogger and leaked minutes before Jennifer took the stage to give a speech in her daughter's memory. Gasps filled the room. Eyes turned. Whispers spread like wildfire. Jennifer's hands trembled as she approached the podium. Her voice faltered. She tried to deny it, but her confusion only made things worse. The moment Chad stepped forward, publicly expressing his outrage, the room believed him. Kat, standing by the exit, watched as Jennifer's legacy cracked under the weight of carefully constructed lies. And when the gala ended, as guests filed out in stunned silence, Kat and Chad slipped away, together. The aftermath to Salem, they were still enemies. But to each other, they were victorious. Jack tried to piece things together. He stood again by Abigail's grave, his voice thick with anguish. "Did we fail you?" he whispered. "Did we let your memory become a weapon?" But Abigail, now more memory than voice, had no answer. Next, a time to mourn. Sammy Brady's journey through grief on Days of Our Lives. The small, tight-knit town of Salem, the heart of the beloved daytime drama Days of Our Lives, has always been a place where emotions run deep, relationships are tested, and the bonds of family endure through even the most trying times. For over half a century, fans of the show, many of whom have grown up alongside its characters, have tuned in to witness the joys, heartbreaks, and triumphs of the residents of this fictional Midwestern town. But on Tuesday, June 10, 2025, the air in Salem grew heavy with sorrow as the community gathered to bid a final farewell to one of its most cherished figures, John Black, portrayed by the late Drake Hodgston. For viewers, particularly those aged 65 and older who have followed the show for decades, this moment was not just a farewell to a character but a poignant reminder of the fragility of life and the enduring power of love, loss, and memory. At the center of this emotional storyline is Sammy Brady, played by the talented Allison Sweeney, whose brief return to Salem and subsequent absence from John's funeral has sparked curiosity and empathy among fans. In an exclusive interview, Sweeney opened up about the complexities of grief, the challenges of filming such an emotionally charged storyline, and the deep connection she shares with her character's journey. For older viewers, who may have experienced their own losses and understand the unpredictable waves of mourning, Sammy's story offers a mirror to their own lives, a reminder that grief has no set timeline and that healing often comes in unexpected moments. A farewell to John Black. Salem and mourning John Black was more than just a character on Days of Our Lives. For fans, he was a symbol of resilience, love, and unwavering loyalty. Played by Drake Hodgston for nearly 4 decades, John's journey through Salem was marked by dramatic twists, amnesia, espionage, and forbidden romances, but it was his steadfast love for Dr. Marlena Evans, Deidre Hall, that anchored his story. Their romance, often described as one of daytime television's greatest love stories, weathered countless storms, from villainous schemes to personal tragedies. For viewers who have followed their saga since the 1980s, John and Marlena's love was a constant, a beacon of hope that true love could endure even the darkest of days. When news broke of Hodgston's passing, the Days of Our Lives team faced the delicate task of crafting a storyline that honored both the actor and the character. The result was a funeral scene that aired on June 10, 2025, a moment that brought Salem's residents together to celebrate John's life and mourn his loss. The episode was a masterclass in emotional storytelling, with heartfelt eulogies, tearful embraces, and quiet moments of reflection that resonated deeply with fans. For older viewers, the scenes may have evoked memories of their own farewells. Funerals for loved ones, moments of communal grief, or the bittersweet act of saying goodbye to someone who shaped their lives. Yet, one familiar face was noticeably absent from the funeral: Sammy Brady, the fiery, complex daughter of Marlena and Roman Brady, whose life has been intertwined with John since she was a child. Sammy's absence puzzled fans, but as Sweeney revealed in her interview, it was a deliberate choice that reflects the unpredictable nature of grief and the realities of life's timing. Sammy's return to Salem, a journey delayed. Sammy Brady has always been a whirlwind of passion and unpredictability, a character whose impulsive decisions and fierce loyalty have made her both beloved and controversial. For fans who have watched her grow from a rebellious teenager to a devoted mother, Sammy's connection to John Black holds special significance. John, though not her biological father, was a father figure in every sense of the word, a man who guided her, challenged her, and loved her through her many mistakes. His death, therefore, was not just a loss for Salem but a deeply personal one for Sammy. Sweeney, who has portrayed Sammy on and off since 1993, explained that her character's brief return to Salem earlier in the storyline was a whirlwind of emotion. Sammy came back to Salem for a moment, but then she had to return to Europe, Sweeney shared. Life doesn't always let you stay where you want to be, and for Sammy, that meant missing the funeral. The decision to have Sammy absent from the funeral was not just a logistical one but a storytelling choice that underscores the reality of grief. For older audiences, this detail may resonate deeply. Many have experienced moments when they couldn't be present for a loved one's farewell, perhaps due to distance, health, or other obligations, and the guilt and longing that linger in those moments. Sweeney's own experience filming these scenes was equally challenging. "I don't know if it's a secret, so I don't want to bother them, but I came back a little later because I couldn't be there for those scenes," she explained. They scheduled me to come in a week later, maybe 2 weeks later. I did come in and I had scenes with John, but my timing was a little off after all that. The actress admitted that being unable to film the funeral scenes with her castmates was hard, a sentiment that mirrors the isolation that grief can sometimes bring. For viewers who have felt the weight of missing key moments in their own lives, Sweeney's candidness offers a sense of shared understanding. Watching the episodes air months later was equally difficult for Sweeney. We knew when we were filming these scenes that it wasn't going to air for another 6 months, and we were going to have these emotions again, she said. And that's what's happening. For fans, particularly those who have followed the show for decades, this delayed emotional response may feel familiar. Grief often resurfaces unexpectedly, triggered by a song, a memory, or a quiet moment, and the act of revisiting John's death through Sammy's eyes allows viewers to process their own feelings of loss alongside her. The authenticity of grief. Sammy and Marlena's bond. At the heart of Sammy's storyline is her relationship with her mother, Marlena, a bond that has been a cornerstone of Days of Our Lives for decades. Marlena, a renowned psychiatrist and one of Salem's most compassionate figures, has always been a grounding force for Sammy, even when their relationship was strained by Sammy's impulsive choices. John's death, however, brings them closer in a way that feels profoundly real. Sweeney emphasized the importance of portraying this mother-daughter dynamic authentically, particularly in the context of grief. Grief doesn't always happen when everyone gets together on a certain day, Sweeney said. For Sammy to go back and share those moments with Marlena, like a week later or something, allows us to tell that story. This approach to storytelling is a gift to fans, especially older viewers who understand that mourning is not a linear process. The funeral may mark a formal goodbye, but the true work of grieving often happens in the quiet moments that follow, over a cup of coffee, during a late-night conversation, or in the simple act of holding someone's hand. For Sammy, these moments with Marlena are a chance to honor John's memory and to reflect on the man who shaped so much of her life. She'll be able to pay tribute to a man who was a second father to her, Sweeney said. The actress's commitment to authenticity shines through in these scenes, as she draws on her own experiences of loss to bring depth to Sammy's journey. For viewers who have lost a parent, a spouse, or a dear friend, Sammy's story is a reminder that love endures even after death, and that the act of remembering is a powerful form of healing. The love story of John and Marlena, too, remains a beacon of hope in the midst of sorrow. John and Marlena's love will continue, even long after death, Sweeney said, a sentiment that resonates with fans who have followed their romance for decades. For older viewers, who may have experienced the loss of a partner or witnessed the enduring love of their own parents, this storyline is a testament to the idea that love transcends time and space. Marlena's strength in the face of loss, and her ability to find solace in her daughter, offers a model of resilience that is both inspiring and relatable. Honoring Drake Hodgston, a cast and crew in mourning while the storyline focuses on John Black's death, it is impossible to separate the character from the man who brought him to life. Drake Hodgston, who passed away in 2024, was a beloved member of the Days of Our Lives family, known for his warmth, professionalism, and dedication to his craft. For Sweeney and her castmates, filming these scenes was not just about saying goodbye to John but about honoring Hodgston's legacy. "I'm really glad I got to be a part of it the way I did, it felt so real," Sweeney said, her voice tinged with emotion. The actress's gratitude for her time with Hodgston is palpable, and her words reflect the deep sense of loss felt by the entire Days of Our Lives community. For fans, particularly those who have followed the show for decades, Hodgston's passing is a reminder of the passage of time and the profound impact that actors can have on their lives. Many viewers have grown up with John Black, and saying goodbye to him feels like losing a member of their own family. The decision to weave Hodgston's passing into the show's narrative was a bold one, but it has allowed Days of Our Lives to create a storyline that is both cathartic and meaningful. For older viewers, who may be more attuned to the realities of mortality, this approach offers a chance to process their own grief alongside the characters they love. The funeral scenes, the quiet moments of reflection, and Sammy's delayed return all serve as a reminder that grief is a universal experience. One that binds us together, even in the most difficult moments. Looking ahead, Sammy's future in Salem as Days of Our Lives moves forward, fans can expect to see more of Sammy's journey through grief and her evolving relationship with Marlena. Sweeney hinted that Sammy's return to Salem, though delayed, will be a pivotal moment in the storyline. DOOL fans can expect to see more of the mother-daughter relationship between Sammy and Marlena after John's passing, she said, teasing a deeper exploration of their bond. For viewers, this promise of future episodes offers hope, a reminder that even in the wake of loss, there is room for connection, healing, and growth. Sammy's story is far from over, and her journey through grief will continue to resonate with fans of all ages. For older viewers, in particular, her struggle to find closure and her determination to honor John's memory may feel like a reflection of their own experiences. Grief, as Sweeney so eloquently put it, has no timeline. It ebbs and flows, sometimes catching us off guard, sometimes offering moments of unexpected peace. Through Sammy, Days of Our Lives invites its audience to embrace this truth and to find solace in the shared experience of love and loss. A legacy of love and resilience in the end, the story of John Black's death and Sammy Brady's journey through grief is more than just a chapter in the long history of Days of Our Lives. It is a celebration of the human spirit, a testament to the power of family, and a tribute to the enduring legacy of a character and an actor who touched the lives of millions. For fans, particularly those who have watched the show for decades, this storyline is a reminder of why they fell in love with Salem in the first place, its ability to capture the complexities of life with heart, authenticity, and hope. As the residents of Salem continue to navigate the aftermath of John's death, and as Sammy finds her way back to her mother and